All right, guys, I am back. So hopefully we can restart this because we had some interruptions, phone calls from a friend of mine. So I am back. I decided to end that stream and come back because, it was just not working. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. All right, guys, I am back. I am so sorry about that. I had to run downstairs real quick. All right, so just a quick recap. We got the high priest is officiates over the reading, talking about you being tested, learning lessons, values. So the Aries, you guys got the Ace of Swords. So I definitely see a victory for the Aries with whatever your legal case is. It's probably coming up in about a month or a week. Oh, I ran up them steps too fast. It's coming up in either a month or a week, and I see a victory. But I feel as though a lot of you need to really take the time to walk away from what doesn't serve you, whether or not it's alcoholism, whether or not it's some sort of drug. I feel like it's probably a good idea that if you have any addictions, you probably want to get in rehab. Because earlier the Eight of Cups came up and then a couple of other cards. Okay, let me see if I can find them. Yeah, Eight of Cups, the Moon, King of Cups, and the Empress. It doesn't matter what it was that your mother did or some other toxic person. It's all about what you do and the choices you make. Okay. Moving on to the Taurus, the King of Swords comes up. So somebody wants you bad. Somebody is really, really throwing stuff at you, testing you. Looks like it's an air sign. Clarify the King of Swords. Also for the Aries, if it was some sort of child custody or either child support, okay, you're going to win that case. Or if it's a lawsuit that you're going for, you're going to win. Even though it seems like you're not, you're going to win. All right, spirits, clarify King of Swords for the Tauruses. All right, so the Two of Pentacles comes up, the Nine of Wands, and a couple of other cards. I do see a victory for the Tauruses, but you're going to have to pay off some kind of debt. I can see money being exchanged. It's going to be better than what you think. It's not going to be crazy. It's, you're going to be able to manage it. Okay. So I do feel like the situation is going to bring you closure and inner peace, whatever it is. Okay. For example, Taurus, if you owe money on your rent, okay, let's say you owe rent. Okay, which is what I can see for a lot of you because the Two of Pentacles comes up. Let's say that your landlord filed an eviction on you for monies that you owed in rent. Okay, you've got the court date coming up. What you need to do is you need to contact the courts. And what you can also do if you owe rent is just pay the rent, send in the proof that you paid the rent. Boom, bam, boom, your situation is solved. Okay? That's all you got to do. Okay? The money is coming into you. You're going to be able to manage the situation, but you can't let it mess with your inner peace. You can't let it do that. You have to understand that everything is going to be okay. Call on your spirit guides. You do have a spirit guide coming up here. The Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Cups is definitely letting you know that everything is going to be all right. And you just need to think about what it is that you need to do instead of being emotional about the situation. Okay? And don't freak out. All right. The Gemini's got the Emperor. So I do feel like the Emperor is a win, but I feel like the Emperor is saying only if you were being responsible. Okay. There may be a debt that needs to be paid for the Geminis. But I do see a victory because I can see the money coming into you. I feel like it's some sort of debt that needs to be paid. And I do see that money coming into you. I do feel like you guys are going to come off on top. Spirits, clarify the Emperor. Okay, your death, strength, and the Four of Swords. Now, if some of y'all like did something really, really bad, stalked somebody, harassed somebody, you may either have to pay a fine or do some jail time. The Four of Swords does represent that. I know a lot of y'all probably freaking out or whatever, but I have to tell you, whenever I see that Four of Swords, that could possibly represent somebody going away for a while. Oh, bless me. Good grief. It could be that for some of you, I mean, if you killed somebody, okay, if you did something really horrible, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you guys need to, and then also stalking. Okay, stalking is a felony in most states. So, Geminis have a tendency to think I am on top of the world and I can do anything, but you got to be careful, okay? And then also I feel as though now some of you that are not going to jail, it ain't that serious. A lot of you are going to get rest and peace from the situation coming up. I feel like it's going to be coming up, going anywhere in October to November or beyond that. Okay. Now, Cancers, you guys got the karma or the judgment card. So this is all about, did you make the right decision? Okay. So, and then also we're going to see, because judgment does represent that a lot of you Cancers do have some sort of court action, legal problem. Spirits, give me some clarity for the Cancers. What are you seeing? Are you seeing a victory? Okay. So I do definitely see a victory. I can see for a lot of you Cancers, this could either be bill collector. This could be, possible apartment rental, house rental. You got the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles. So I definitely do see a success. If there is any sort of fines or debt that needs to be repaid, that money's going to be in your hand. You don't have to worry about it. Okay. Just learn the lesson from the situation, whatever it is. Maybe you misjudged something. Okay. Leo's got the Fool card. Feel like a lot of you Leos are going to have a victory with the Fool card. Then also I can see a lot of Leos probably getting out of jail coming up soon, being liberated, being set free. Okay. So some of y'all Leos that are in prison right now, I feel like you're going to get parole or something, or either if it's a court case, you're going to get something. Also, this could have some trust fund that has to do with the parent. I feel like you are going to be victorious. Spirits, give me some clarity on the Fool. Okay, the Tower, the Three of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles. So if there's any debt that needs to be paid, you're just going to have to pay it, but it's going to be okay. There may be some fines that you may have to pay, but I do see that money coming into you. I money manifesting with the Three of Pentacles. Okay, and this is something that was just meant to be, to teach you something, and just trust in the process and you'll be okay. All right, Virgo's got the Seven of Wands, so there's definitely some struggle. Spirits, give me some clarity on the Seven of Wands for the Virgos. Okay, so this has something to do with court, child custody, divorce for the Virgos, the Two of Cups, the Hermit, and the Three of Swords. Also for some of you Virgos, it could be a domestic violence thing that could be happening. I do feel like a lot of you Virgos, if you can't learn the lesson about having compassion for others, okay, then it could end up being a disappointment. The Three of Swords represents, somebody being disappointed. I feel like the Hermit is the judge, and they're going to say, hey, look, whoop-de-woo-woo, and you're going to go, I can't believe that, you need to learn the lesson and look at what you did in that situation, Virgo. Okay. I do feel like everything's going to be okay, but I do feel as though I can see some kickback from the judge. If you've got a court date coming up, somebody may have more evidence against you than you have against them. And this may be a situation where you may have been acting sort of petty after a relationship that ended. You may have been trying to do something to isolate somebody, which is your own Virgo way. And a lot of you can't do that. Okay. You can only isolate yourselves. Stop trying to isolate other people. Okay. So I definitely can see something with that. For the Libras, you guys got the Knight of Swords. Is there going to be a victory? Knight of Swords has something to say. Okay. Queen of Wands, Seven of Swords, Ten of Wands. Yeah, this is all on you, Libra. I don't necessarily see a victory. I can see that something is going to transpire that is going to put a burden on your back, but I feel as though it's because you have a negative subconscious blockage. Seven of Swords comes up. It's something that you're not seeing, something that you're not paying attention to. There is a spirit guide that is trying to get through to you to say, hey, you need to quit doing this, you need to quit doing that. So the karma is kind of negative. If it's a court date, I can see a judge that just has, you just has it out for you, but it's because there's some lessons that you need to learn that you're not seeing. Okay? You're creating struggle where there doesn't need to be. All right, Scorpios, you guys got the Five of Cups. I feel as though the reason why a lot of you Scorpios are going to have disappointments in your legal thing is because you were way too emotional and way too angry to see through what it is that you needed to see through. So you was just too far. You guys need to, wake up and realize that, maybe prior to whatever you have coming up, spirits, give me some clarity for the Scorpios. Sorry, y'all, my allergies. I just took my medicine. Okay. So the Death card comes up, the Magician and the Hanged Man. Something just doesn't seem right about this. I can see that this may involve violence, but then again, it may be something involving some kind of hex. The Magician comes up. So, if there's certain things that people hexed, like your relationship, this may be a divorce. I feel like a lot of your significant others or mates are possibly going to file for a divorce. They may get more than you in the divorce. You know what I'm saying? So something is going on. I feel like it's a lot of energy, some kind of trickster, a hand in the pot that seems to be stirring the pot. And, because you're not in control of your emotions and your anger, you could have some disappointments. That's something that you really, really drastically need to change. I'm not even going to lie with the Hanged Man. I feel like if it's court, it's going to be a continuance. Or it could be where you may get probation, or the Hanged Man, I'm not even going to lie to you. Now, the Sun was the next card, so I feel as though if you are more positive, you're way too negative about the situation. What's going on? You got to be more positive. If you're more positive, positive things will come into you. Okay, and you'll have a victory if you can do that. All of that feeling sorry for yourself, Scorpio, blaming everybody else. And, when you could have saw what you could have done, even if it was practicing or working on yourself. Okay. Sagittarius has got the Four of Cups. I do feel as though a lot of you Sagittarius are going to have a lose when it comes to a legal thing, because a lot of you are way too apathetic. You're not learning the lesson of having compassion, of having, again, your energy is way too negative. Way too negative. A lot of y'all are involved in this, whatever it is, because you seem to not appreciate things. You take everything for granted. You take people for granted. And so somebody is possibly going to get, what I can see with the Ace of Pentacles is that, you did that, and then now you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay some kind of fine. What other advice do you have? I feel like you're going to have it, but I feel like when you walk away from it, you need to learn the lesson. It is going to set you back, but it's going to teach you a lot. I do feel like the money is going to be there for you to pay it, but I feel like you have to really, really dig deep and see where this is coming from. What is creating this struggle for you? Okay. You got some blockages in your solar plexus, a little bit of narcissism here. So I feel like it's going to be, Like, for example, if somebody's suing you or if something's going on, they're going to win the lawsuit. You are going to have time to pay it. But I feel like, again, your energy as far as learning the lesson from the situation is going to be very important. Okay. For the Capricorns, you guys got Page of Swords. Spirits, give me some clarity on of Swords. Yeah, Tower, Three of Coins, and the Four of Pentacles. So I do feel as though there is going to be a victory, but there is going to be a fine that needs to be paid. So you guys want to be prepared for that. Okay, as well as court costs. But I feel like you're going to be fine. You're probably that you're going to go to the slammer. No, but you do need to make sure that when you go into that court date that you have your money to pay your fine. Okay, so be careful with going out and buying hair or nails or getting your nails done. And, instead of doing that, take you a nice cleansing bath. That's something that's cheaper. You want to save up your money so that you can pay that fine at the time, because the judge is going to be expecting for you to pay that fine. For the Aquariuses, the Knight of Pentacles comes up. I feel like this is definitely a victory for the Aquariuses, but again, I do feel as though there may be some fines or a debt that needs to be paid. Spirits, clarify Knight of Pentacles for the Aquariuses. Yeah, Queen of Swords, Three of Wands, and the Justice card. So there will be an expected fine. I do see that money coming into you if you are positive. You need to be more positive about the situation and then also grow from this situation. A lot of you may be having some inner, like to where you just don't have that inner peace. You're just kind of, but I feel like things are going to be just and things are going to be fair. I feel like a lot of you are fearing discrimination. Okay, you want to talk to your spirit guides about that. Here they are right here, and you want to say to them, hey, in my county they're discriminating against so and so, or either come and see a practitioner. The Justice card does come up. I feel like justice is going to be in your favor, but again, there are going to be fines. The final card for the Aquarius, I feel like there is going to be a fine that's going to need to be paid. Yep, the Eight of Cups. For some of you, it may be drunk driving. For some of you, it may be domestic something. For some of you, it may be involved child support. Okay, child support may be involved with this. Okay, child custody. Okay. Now, if it is involving child custody and you have some sort of drinking problem, I can possibly see your child going to maybe stay with the father or the mother temporarily, but they are going to come back because a lot of you do need to get yourselves together, okay? Because you're doing a little too much. Last but not least, the Pisceans. You guys got the King of Wands. I do see a very powerful spirit guide that is showing up and showing out because I feel like a lot of you needed protection at the time. So a lot of you Pisceans are dealing with a self-defense case, okay? Some of you may be dealing with landlord stuff. Some of you may be dealing with custody, child custody. Clarify King of Wands. Okay, yeah, Nine of Pentacles, Page of Wands, Eight of Swords. Now, I do feel as though a lot of you, if you feel in your mind that something negative is going to happen, then it can. So, make sure that you don't have those negative thoughts, even though I do feel like those negative thoughts will be there. So I feel like this is a lesson learned to where don't worry yourself to death about something. Do whatever work you got to do and keep it moving. A lot of people have a tendency to worry themselves or want to worry about certain. Okay. Thank you, Terrence. All right, guys, that is your reading. I do work court cases for people. So if you guys need that, the link to my website is below. Also, if you guys want a private reading, the link to my website is below. I do provide phone, video, as well as Skype readings. Okay. So y'all have a wonderful evening. Love and light.